The news coming out of Port Charles, it's really landed with, well, a heavy heart for so many fans, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's somber news.
But at the same time, it's sending these shockwaves. Things are promising to get pretty electric over at General Hospital.
Mm-hmm. Definitely setting things up.
We're talking about the departure of a true legend. I mean, a really pivotal character, a matriarch who's been on our screens for, gosh, literally decades.
Decades is right. A foundational character.
So this isn't just, a character saying goodbye. It feels like a catalyst, something that's really poised to ignite these seismic shifts in the lives of so many people in Port Charles.
Indeed. What we're looking at here isn't just like the end of one character's story. It feels more like a narrative pivot point, something that's going to profoundly alter the whole landscape of the show.
Right.
The loss of someone as foundational as Monica Quartermain, it just reverberates, doesn't it? Through the entire fictional world, touching basically every corner and character connected to that Quartermain legacy.
Absolutely. So today we're going to take a deep dive into the reported passing of Monica Quartermain. And of course, the highly anticipated, very emotional, and let's be honest, probably pretty dramatic events surrounding her funeral.
Always drama with the cues.
Always. This goes way beyond just one character. It covers decades of history, all these interwoven, complex relationships, and really the future of this iconic family.
It's a huge undertaking for the show.
It is. So our mission today is to sift through the insights we've gathered from various sources, spoilers, trusted leaker reports, that kind of thing. We've got a really fascinating mix here, some confirmed spoilers, some very reliable leak information, and also some informed speculation.
Which lets us piece together a pretty rich picture of what might be coming.
Exactly. Our challenge is navigating those confirmed facts alongside the really intriguing what-ifs, to give you, our listeners, a really comprehensive look at what's on the horizon.
That's right. So get ready to really understand the emotional weight of this massive loss. We'll explore that intricate web of who might be returning to Port Charles for this.
So many possibilities there.
Oh, yeah. And uncover the potential new dramas, because you know they're coming, that are set to unfold as the Quartermain family gathers to say their final goodbyes.
This deep dive, we hope, will offer you not just the facts, but those deeper implications for the characters and really the show's incredibly rich tapestry.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start with the core information, because this is really where the heartbreak begins. Our sources are indicating that Monica Quartermain's passing, it's expected to happen on a Tuesday episode, maybe Wednesday.
Right around then, yeah.
And from what we've gathered, it sounds like it's going to be a peaceful departure. Monica reportedly passes away in her sleep.
The quiet nature of her passing is actually quite poignant, isn't it?
It really is.
For a character whose life was anything but quiet, filled with groundbreaking medical work, those tumultuous romances, endless family drama.
Oh, the drama.
To just pass away peacefully in her sleep, it almost offers this moment of, serene reflection.
Yeah, like a pause.
It's almost like a gentle breath before the inevitable storm, right? The grief, the shock, the drama that's going to descend on Port Charles. This quiet exit, it sets a really unique tone. It contrasts so sharply with the often, very melodramatic deaths we sometimes see on soaps.
That's a really good point. It does feel different. And then it's the discovery and the initial notification that really grabs your attention right from the start.
Who finds her?
Well, our trusted leaker indicates it's going to be Danny Morgan, Asher Jared Antonison's character.
Wow. Danny.
Now, just imagine the emotional significance of his child, making a discovery like that. It's incredibly heavy.
Oh, devastating for him.
And the reports then diverge just a little bit on the chain of information. One leak suggests Danny tells Tracy Quartermain first, and then she alerts Jason Morgan.
Okay, that's one path.
But an alternative leak speculates it could be Danny reaching out to his dad, Jason, first. And then Jason informs Tracy.
That slight variation, who gets told first, it introduces a subtle, but I think really significant layer of narrative speculation.
How so?
Well, think about how each scenario changes those immediate emotional dynamics. If Danny, a kid, tells Tracy first, it places this profound, immediate burden of starting the family's grief squarely on her shoulders.
Right. That's a lot for Tracy.
It is. And Tracy, with her formidable exterior, she might momentarily crumble. Or she might instantly switch into this protective mode for Danny, shifting her focus from her own shock to comforting him. It could be a really rare glimpse of her raw vulnerability, maybe even her maternal side.
That's a powerful thought. If it falls to Tracy first, it's a monumental moment for her character. Could bring out a totally different side of the, often pretty gruff matriarch.
Absolutely.
But what if Danny tells Jason first? How does that change things?
Well, if he tells Jason, his father, first, it really reinforces Jason's role as Danny's primary parent, his confidant.
Mm-hmm.
This scenario could give Jason maybe a brief, private moment to process this devastating news himself before he has to manage Tracy's undoubtedly intense reaction
Oh, undoubtedly.
and the wider family's shock. It puts Jason firmly as the first line of defense for his son and then as the one who has to deliver the news to the broader family. It positions him right at the center of this tragedy from the get-go.
Either way, it sounds like Jason is central.
Definitely. Regardless, the official word is that by Wednesday, Jason is confirmed to be on the phone, calling 911 from the Quartermain mansion to alert the authorities. So that solidifies his central, albeit very somber, role in this initial tragic unfolding.
You're right. That immediate burden on Danny, though, a child finding his great aunt like that, it's just heartbreaking. How do you think such a traumatic, almost formative moment immediately impacts a kid like Danny? And what ripple effects could that have on his relationship with Jason, maybe even with Tracy, down the line? That's a moment that could really define a lot for his character.
Oh, it's profoundly shaping.
No.
Absolutely. For Danny, this isn't just, a plot device. It's potentially a foundational trauma.
Right.
He might cling closer to Jason, seeking comfort, reassurance, solidifying that father-son bond through this shared grief. But equally, Tracy, with her tough exterior, she might develop this fierce, almost uncharacteristic protectiveness over him. Seeing him as this vulnerable extension of the Quartermain family she's always sworn to protect.
Interesting. So it could pull them together in unexpected ways.
It could. Or it could also sow seeds of, like, an internal struggle for Danny. Maybe even a quiet guilt or a sort of premature understanding of mortality that could play out for years on screen. So it's almost a double-edged sword. Potential strengthening of bonds, but also introducing this new layer of emotional complexity that Jason and Tracy will have to navigate with him.
Wow. Yeah, a lot to unpack there for Danny. And speaking of character impact, confirmed GH spoilers are indicating that Jason and Tracy are the ones who are hardest hit by Monica's death.
That specific phrasing stood out.
Yeah, we're apparently going to see them bonding over this terrible loss. And, this isn't just a character's end. It's the culmination of Leslie Charleston's incredible, 4 decades embodying Monica.
Just amazing tenure.
A presence that resonated with generations of fans. Our sources confirm the memorial will be sad and emotional, not just for the characters, but for us, the fans, who have watched her amazing portrayal over all these years.
And that question of why Jason and Tracy are singled out as hardest hit, I think that's deeply insightful. Their relationships with Monica were, well, undeniably complex, to put it mildly.
Understatement of the year.
Right. Jason, of course, he's her son, a truth that came with its own massive dramatic revelations, his later choice to distance himself from the Quartermain name, that continuous push-pull of his loyalty.
Always complicated with Jason.
Always. Yet Monica always loved Jason unconditionally. Even when others judged his choices, she was his rock. His grief will be that raw sorrow of a son for a mother who never stopped believing in him, even through his absolute darkest phases.
That bond was unbreakable.
It really was. And then for Tracy, the dynamic was so different. It was one of perpetual rivalry, mixed with this grudging, deeply ingrained respect.
Oh, yeah? They sparred constantly.
They were sparring partners. Intellectual equals in many ways, both these formidable Quartermain matriarchs in their own right. Their interactions, though, frequently laced with those cutting remarks.
Legendary remarks.
Legendary. They were rooted in decades of shared history within those mansion walls, a shared burden of leadership, of family legacy. So this specific shared grief for Jason and Tracy, it speaks volumes about their characters. It underscores their capacity for deep emotion, their intricate connections to the family despite attempts to distance themselves, and just the profound void Monica leaves in their lives specifically.
And maybe their bonding over this loss could signify something new.
It really could. A powerful, unexpected shift in their own dynamic. Maybe even a truce, born out of this shared sorrow.
That would be something to see. It's not just the direct blood ties then. It's the shared history, the battles, the love, the just constant presence in each other's lives that makes this loss hit them so hard.
Exactly.
And the timing of all this, you mentioned it earlier, it adds another layer. Monica's death and funeral are set for fall, and we're told we're just, a week away from it being officially fall? So the current timeline aligns perfectly with what the writers seem to have planned.
Yeah, and this timing isn't just, a logistical detail.
Mm.
It feels like a deliberate narrative choice, grounding the storyline in that specific seasonal transition.
How so?
Well, fall is universally associated with change, right?
Mm-hmm.
With reflection, the sort of quiet beauty of endings and the turning of a new leaf. It just amplifies the emotional atmosphere, creating this really poignant backdrop for a farewell.
Right. Makes sense.
It's kind of a classic storytelling device, really. It deepens the sense of introspection and melancholy surrounding Monica's departure, making the grief feel more resonant, maybe more universally relatable for the audience, too.
Okay, so with the immediate tragedy kind of established, our thoughts naturally turn to the memorial service itself. And this, well, our sources suggest it won't just be packed with emotion, but also maybe some truly unexpected twist.
Oh, I bet. It's the Quartermains.
Exactly. So the sources reveal that Jason Morgan is reportedly the one tasked with delivering the eulogy at his mother's funeral.
Now, that choice, Jason, for the eulogy is incredibly symbolic, especially given his very complex journey within the Quartermain family.
Right. The man who rejected the name.
Exactly. Think about it. A man who, for years, rejected his birth name, chose a completely different path, often distanced himself from the family's, opulent world. Yet Monica was always his anchor.
Always.
His mother, first through adoption, then later through that biological revelation. This moment places him squarely at the center of the family he often tried to avoid. It forces him to step into this role of leadership and real emotional vulnerability.
But that's not usually Jason's comfort zone.
Not at all. His words will need to capture not just Monica's essence, the brilliant doctor, the complex woman, but also the turbulent history of the Quartermains and his own personal evolution within it. It'll be a rare moment for him to articulate his deep, often unspoken love and respect for her.
It might surprise some people.
It might, especially some of the other family members who maybe only saw him as Stone Cold. It's almost like a reconciliation of his two identities. Quartermain and Morgan brought together through his grief.
That's a really powerful point. Almost a full circle moment for Jason stepping up as the rock for the family in this moment, but also maybe a chance for him to truly define his connection to Monica publicly.
Exactly, a defining moment.
So let's talk about who we can expect to see there, starting with the core Quartermain family members, close associates. First up, Ned Ashton and Olivia Falconeri.
Ned and Olivia Wright.
The sources note that while they're, quote, rarely seen these days, their presence is definitely expected. They both apparently had a deep affection for Monica, even though things were maybe a little rocky between Monica and Olivia when Olivia first married Ned.
That initial friction.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where that rich tapestry of GH history really comes alive.
Oh, what have you got?
Our sources specifically highlight a deeply scandalous detail from way back. Monica and Ned were once lovers back in the Luke and Laura days.
Get out, Monica and Ned.
Yes, this isn't just some fun trivia. It provides this rich, multi-layered history that will undoubtedly influence the emotional undercurrents of the funeral.
Wow, okay.
Ned won't just be mourning a family matriarch. He'll be mourning a piece of his own tumultuous past. A woman he shared this passionate, albeit maybe fleeting, connection with.
Imagine the memories flooding back for him.
Exactly. Imagine the weight of those memories as he stands there in the Quartermain living room saying goodbye to the woman who was not only his aunt, but also, for a time, a really pivotal part of his romantic history. Their shared past with Monica adds all these layers of personal memory, maybe even unresolved feelings or, nostalgic pangs. It'll definitely color their grief and their interactions with other family members.
A scandalous past, indeed. Imagine those echoes bouncing off the walls of the Quartermain mansion during such a solemn occasion. Wow.
Layers upon layers.
And speaking of the mansion, it's not just the longtime residents. Even the younger generation, like Ned and Olivia's son Leo Quartermain, played by Easton Rocket Suida, he's also expected to attend. We last saw him towards the end of April 2024.
Right, Leo. His youthful presence brings a different, almost innocent perspective to the family's grief, doesn't it?
It does.
Leo represents that continuing Quartermain legacy, a new generation experiencing the loss of this foundational figure. For him, Monica was probably a constant presence in the mansion, maybe a stern but, loving great-aunt figure.
It probably kept him in line.
Oh, I'm sure. His presence reminds us that life and the family, they continue, even as they mourn. It might also offer a moment of just innocent reflection amidst all the more complicated adult emotions and histories that are bound to surface during the memorial. He's really a living reminder of the future that Monica helped shape.
That's a lovely way to put it. And then we have Brooklyn Quartermain, BLQ, and Harrison Chase. They are expected to be, quote, crushed by Monica's death.
Understandably.
And Brooklyn will reportedly be focused on comforting and supporting her granny, Tracy, who is expected to be heartbroken.
Now, BLQ's immediate focus on comforting Tracy, that speaks volumes about her evolving maturity and her family loyalty.
She's grown up a lot.
She really has. Despite her own grief, she recognizes the immense weight of Tracy's loss. She understands that Tracy, for all her formidable nature, is going to be deeply shaken by Monica's passing.
It shows a real bond between them.
It does. It suggests BLQ is stepping up as this crucial support system for her grandmother right when Tracy's at her most vulnerable. It also hints at Brooklyn's growth, from that often impulsive character to someone capable of deep empathy and family responsibility, seeing beyond her own immediate pain to support someone else.
It's a testament to how grief can really bring out new sides of characters, or maybe sides that were always there but hidden.
Sure.
And we can also expect Gio, who is BLQ, and Dante Falconeri's son, and also Emma to be there. Apparently, they both loved Monica and spent a ton of time at the Q Mansion. Gio especially lived there until very recently.
Yeah, their presence really reinforces Monica's profound role as a vital grandmother figure, and also the Quartermain Mansion as that central hub for generations of the family.
The heart of the show, really.
It is. For Gio and Emma, this loss isn't abstract. It's deeply personal. It's rooted in everyday memories of living and growing up under Monica's watchful, if sometimes stern, eye.
I can picture it now.
They experienced her warmth, her rules, the general rhythm of life in that iconic home. Their attendance really underscores the profound impact Monica had beyond just her professional life, touching the youngest members of the family directly, leaving an indelible mark on their childhoods.
Definitely makes it hit home for the younger set, too. Of course, Danny Morgan, as Jason's son, he's certain to be there, especially given his poignant role, potentially, in discovering Monica.
Right, his presence is a given.
And Elizabeth Baldwin is also expected to be present, primarily to support Jason. But beyond her personal connection to Jason, we really need to emphasize her significant professional history, right? Having worked for so many years with Monica at General Hospital.
That dual connection for Elizabeth is crucial. It adds another important layer to the grief. She's not just mourning, a friend and a former romantic partner's mother. She's mourning a mentor, a colleague, a pillar of the institution where she has dedicated her entire career.
Monica was General Hospital for so long.
She absolutely was, synonymous with it for decades. Elizabeth, as a longstanding nurse at GH, would have witnessed Monica's groundbreaking work, her unwavering dedication, her quiet strength, all firsthand.
So her grief is both personal and institutional.
Exactly. It acknowledges Monica's enduring impact not just on the Quartermain family, but on the hospital itself and the countless lives she touched through medicine. Her presence really bridges the family's private sorrow with Monica's very public legacy as a groundbreaking physician.
That's a great observation. Her grief really does embody both sides of Monica's life. Okay, now let's move into the realm of potential returns and maybe some truly unexpected guests. This is where things get really, really intriguing.
Okay, let's hear it.
First, Jason's other son, Jake Weber, played by Hudson West. He was last seen on GH way back in July of last year.
Jake. Right, it's been a while. So this immediately begs the question, will Jason's other son make a return for his grandmother's funeral?
It feels like he should, doesn't it?
It does. Jake's absence has been noticeable, and his return, even just for a few episodes, could signify a moment of profound importance for Jason, for Elizabeth, and for the wider Quartermain-Morgan family dynamics.
How so, you think?
Well, it would force Jason to confront his relationships with both of his sons during this time of immense grief. It could potentially highlight his ongoing struggles with balancing his, dangerous professional life with his role as a father.
That's always been a struggle for him.
Always. And for Jake, it's a chance to grieve a grandmother he knew intimately. She was a constant presence in his life at the mansion for a long time. It's a chance to reconnect with a family that's seen his own massive share of turmoil. His perspective, too, as a child who has faced significant trauma himself, would add a really poignant layer to the family's mourning.
Yeah, a powerful opportunity for some deep family moments there. Could potentially unearth some unresolved emotions for Jason and Elizabeth, too.
Definitely fertile ground for drama and emotion.
Okay, next. We have to talk about Jason's potential +1 situation and Carly's, unconventional role in all this.
Oh.
The sources express some uncertainty about whether Jason will bring Britt Westbourne as his plus one, given their, complicated past and where things stand.
Right, that's still kind of up in the air.
But then our leaker drops a bombshell. Carly Corinto Spencer is apparently going to speak at the funeral.
Whoa, wait, Carly?
Yep. Despite Monica notoriously not liking her.
Carly speaking at Monica's funeral that's a jaw-dropper.
Wait.
Monica hated her, or at least strongly disliked her, often saw her as this disruptive force, especially in Jason's life.
So what gives?
Well, is this a genuine olive branch? Like a rare moment of respect for Monica's legacy, despite their personal differences?
That's...
Or is Carly, being Carly, using a moment of shared grief to subtly assert her own presence in Jason's life, and by extension, kind of within the Quartermaine sphere?
That sounds more like Carly.
For a character as pragmatic and, let's face it, often territorial as Carly, it's rarely just about sentiment, you know? The real insight here might be less about Carly's feelings for Monica and maybe more about her enduring, almost territorial connection to Jason and the intricate power dynamics of Port Charles.
And the reaction from the others.
Tracy? Oh, the reaction from other Quartermaines, especially Tracy, could range from just outright outrage to maybe grudging, seething tolerance. It makes it a potentially pivotal moment of public and private drama during an already incredibly emotionally charged event. Can you just imagine Tracy's face if Carly dares to utter anything less than completely reverent about Monica?
Oh, the fireworks that could cause are almost palpable.
Yeah.
That's classic soap opera right there, brewing in the making.
Absolutely peak soap.
And speaking of controversial presences,
Yeah.
let's discuss Sonny Corinthos.
Sonny, right? This is a big one.
The sources are pretty clear on this one. He most certainly should not be there. The reason? He killed Monica's son, A.J. Quartermaine, in cold blood.
Can't forget that. Ever.
Furthermore, Tracy and Ned don't like Sonny either, holding him responsible for so much Quartermaine heartache over the years. However, there's a conflicting view that Jason may want him there for support.
Which raises the huge question, will Sonny actually sit this out of respect for Monica and her family?
Yeah.
Or are the GH writers going to surprise us and have him show up?
What do you think happens if he does show?
If Sonny does show up, it would be an incredibly provocative move.
Yeah.
It forces characters like Tracy and Ned, who harbor this deep-seated animosity and trauma over AJ's death, to confront their tormentor in a setting that's meant for shared grief and solemnity.
He would be beyond awkward and volatile.
Totally volatile. It would highlight the really complicated moral landscape of Port Charles, where loyalty often clashes with justice and personal history. Sonny's attendance wouldn't just be a guest appearance, it would be a dramatic statement. It would test the limits of forgiveness and tolerance within the Quartermaine family, and probably among the show's longtime viewers, too.
Yeah, fans would have strong opinions.
Yeah, definitely. Can Jason truly expect his family to put aside the murder of their brother and son just for his comfort? It's a profound conflict of loyalties and a raw, gaping wound for the Quartermaines. The writers would have to tread very carefully here because Sonny's presence would undoubtedly spark intense viewer debate about what constitutes appropriate grief behavior on a show with such a violent, interwoven history.
It's a really delicate balance the writers would have to strike there. They risk alienating some longtime fans who would absolutely see Sonny's presence as a profound disrespect to Monica's memory, and especially to AJ's tragic end.
A very fine line indeed.
Okay, also, among the expected attendees are some hospital representatives and colleagues. Portia Robinson is expected to be present, which makes sense given her role as chief of staff.
Right, representing the hospital officially.
And Britt Westbourne is mentioned again here. A leak suggests she might be representing the hospital, but the sources also point out, kind of skeptically, that she hasn't even gotten a job back at the hospital since her previous departure.
Yeah, that detail really grabbed my attention too. So what does this all mean for Britt's presence then? Is she there officially as a hospital representative despite her current employment status? Maybe like an informal gesture from Portia?
Or is it just for Jason?
Or is her presence purely for Jason? Her past romantic connection, maybe just a quiet show of support for him during his grief? Or is her role maybe deliberately ambiguous, hinting at unresolved feelings or, future developments between her and Jason?
Lots of possibilities with Britt.
Her attendance definitely highlights Monica's enduring professional legacy, though, and the profound impact she had at General Hospital, which was such a crucial part of her identity. Dr. Terry Randolph will also attend, reinforcing the medical community's respect for Monica.
Right.
The presence of these medical colleagues really underscores that Monica's impact extended far beyond the Quartermaine mansion. It reached right into the heart of Port Charles's healthcare system and the lives of her fellow physicians and nurses.
A true pillar of the community. Okay, let's dive into some potentially long-awaited family reunions and, as the spoilers are suggesting, some potential collision courses.
Ooh, collision courses. Sounds juicy.
First, Lois Cerullo, Rena Sofer's character. She is definitely going to be there.
Lois is back for it. Okay.
And her presence will apparently force BLQ to interact with her estranged mother. GH spoilers actually confirm that Monica's funeral puts Brooklyn on a collision course with Lois Cerullo.
A collision course at a funeral. Intense.
Yeah. And this tragedy, the sources speculate, might even prompt Brooklyn to forgive her mom, Lois, for the whole Geo mess.
Okay, let's unpack that Geo mess for listeners who might need a refresher.
Good idea.
That refers to the really complex and painful paternity saga involving Brooklyn, Valentin Cassadine, and Chase. Lois played a pretty significant and not entirely positive role in encouraging Brooklyn to keep quiet about the truth of Geo's paternity for a while.
Right, manipulating the situation.
Pretty much. The emotional residue from that, where Lois essentially manipulated Brooklyn's choices regarding her own child, runs incredibly deep and caused this massive rift between mother and daughter.
So the funeral forces them together.
Exactly. The funeral, while it's a moment of grief, often serves as this powerful catalyst for resolving or sometimes escalating personal conflicts. The heightened emotions, the finality of death, it can either soften hearts or harden them.
So which way will it go for them?
That's the big question. Monica's death, this stark reminder of life's brevity, it might inspire BLQ to reconsider her relationship with her mother. Will the shared sorrow over Monica's passing finally lead to a breakthrough between mother and daughter, a moment of profound reconciliation? Or will those old wounds just fester, making the funeral even more fraught with tension, maybe even leading to a public confrontation? It's kind of a classic soap opera trope, but honestly, in this context, given these characters and their history, it feels incredibly earned and just ripe for powerful emotional drama.
That's a perfect setup for some high-stakes emotional stuff where grief forces characters to confront their deepest resentments. Okay, and then we have the hopeful returns of some extended Quartermain family members, people we haven't seen in years, but who really you feel should be at this funeral.
Right, the deep cuts from the family tree.
Exactly. First, Skye Quartermain, Alan Quartermain's adoptive daughter. There's hope, the sources say, that Robin Christopher might reprise her role for a couple of episodes.
Oh, Skye. Now, if we connect this to the bigger picture, these potential returns offer such rich veins of history and character development. It would deeply resonate with longtime viewers.
Absolutely.
Skye Quartermain's presence would be this powerful callback to the complex family dynamics surrounding Alan, Monica's late husband, and his whole legacy. Skye's relationship with Monica was so multifaceted. She was a stepmother figure, sometimes a rival, eventually a fellow family member, just navigating that chaotic Quartermain world.
So her grief would be complicated.
Very layered. Mourning Monica not just as a family matriarch, but as this figure intrinsically linked to her own Quartermain identity and the turbulent past she shared with Alan. Her return wouldn't just honor Monica, it would remind us of the sprawling, complex nature of this iconic family.
Yeah, a nod to history that longtime fans would absolutely cherish. And then there's Tracy's son, Dylan Quartermain.
Okay.
There's apparently a strong desire behind the scenes, or at least among the speculators, for GH to bring him home for such a significant family tragedy.
It makes sense. He should be there.
Our sources acknowledge that Scott Clifton, who previously played Dylan, is currently, a very prominent actor over on Bold and the Beautiful.
Right, busy elsewhere.
But they note the possibility of maybe a short guest appearance, or perhaps a return by Robert Palmer Watkins, who is the last actor to play Dylan.
Okay, so maybe recasting isn't out of the question for a short stint.
That seems to be the suggestion. The logistical flexibility is key here. Sources suggest roles might be recast for just 1 to 3 episodes if the original actors aren't available. It emphasizes the show's commitment, potentially, to having all the living family members present.
That commitment would be crucial for a send-off of this magnitude. It would make it a truly momentous event for the family history. Dylan's return, it would reopen storylines related to Tracy's maternal relationship, which has often been, fraught with complications in her own unique brand of tough love.
He was always caught in the middle.
He really was, somewhat caught in the crossfire of all the Quartermain drama. His reappearance would be such a powerful nod to the show's extensive past for longtime viewers, reminding them of the sprawling nature of the Quartermain family tree and all the many branches that have grown from it, often to unexpected places.
What could he bring back?
Well, what specific unaddressed family issues or personal stories could Dylan bring back to Port Charles? Maybe his perspective as someone who kind of chose to live outside the immediate Quartermain drama could offer a unique lens on Monica's legacy. His presence isn't just about attendance, it's about potentially reactivating dormant narrative threads and adding layers of historical depth to the unfolding grief. It truly underscores Monica's role as the anchor of this vast, sprawling, and often incredibly chaotic family.
And chaos is often not far behind when the Quartermains gather. Which brings us nicely to intrigue and, dare I say, brand new Quartermain mansion drama.
Okay, lay it on me. New drama.
First, there's Drew Kane Quartermain and his potential funeral crash.
Drew crashing. Seriously.
This is described in the reports as a troublesome note. Drew is apparently not expected to be invited, but our sources say he may crash and literally try to push his way in.
Wow. That detail really highlights Drew's persistent struggle for acceptance, doesn't it? And his often quite aggressive stance within the family.
It really does.
What does this reveal about his desperation for that family connection? Or maybe his underlying resentment, that feeling of exclusion from the core Quartermain legacy?
And how would Jason and Tracy react?
Well, Tracy and Jason, understandably, may try and kick him out, given his contentious history and his recent legal troubles. But then, Drew might pull a, quote, sketchy move,
Oh no, what?
implying that his daughter, Scout Kane, won't come unless he can.
Using his daughter, that's low.
It puts Tracy and Jason in an incredibly tough spot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They might feel compelled to cave so long as he sits there next to Scout, and Drew just keeps his mouth shut. This situation explores those complex power dynamics and the very boundaries of grief, where personal animosities collide with the desire to protect the youngest members of the family from more heartache and also wanting to honor Monica's memory properly. It's such a classic Quartermain maneuver, isn't it? Using family for leverage, especially when it involves the children.
Oh, that's a potential low blow from Drew if he goes there, leveraging his daughter like that at a funeral. Okay, but the biggest shocker, the one that could literally redefine the Quartermain family for years to come, is the introduction of Monica's never-seen sister.
Hold on. Monica has a sister. A never-seen sister.
Apparently so. This is a major new development. Erica Slezak, who is a soap opera icon in her own right.
Legend, Vicky Lord Riley.
Exactly. She is already filming scenes as Monica's sister, a character who has previously been never seen on the show. More details, like her name and background, are expected in maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Erica Slezak joining GH as Monica's sister. That's huge news.
It's massive, and our sources confirm she is supposed to be there at Monica's funeral.
Okay, so she shows up for the funeral. And then what?
And then, this is where it gets really interesting. This new sister lays claim to the Quartermain mansion and estate.
She what? Claims the mansion.
At the funeral.
Right then and there. And the immediate fierce reaction from Tracy. Absolutely classic Tracy. Over my dead body will I let you have it.
Oh my God. I can hear Jane Elliott saying it now. This sets up immediate, high-stakes drama that could redefine the Quartermain legacy and their iconic home for years to come. Wow.
And there's even some background. Our sources mentioned that Martin Gray previously found a mysterious letter from Monica's sister. He tried to talk to Monica about it but couldn't reach her, ended up speaking to Yuri instead. And now it's too late.
No. So Martin knew or suspected something. That adds this layer of tragic irony. Like, Monica was perhaps trying to address this unresolved family matter before she passed, but time just ran out.
The mystery of why this sister has been absent for so long, what her motivations are, the validity of her claim, this will undoubtedly drive major plot for the foreseeable future. A battle for the Q mansion itself.
That's a truly astonishing development. A funeral, supposed to be a time of closure, turning into the opening salvo of a battle for the very soul, the very home of the Quartermain family. It feels like, I don't know, a fitting, if incredibly dramatic, tribute to Monica's own dramatic life, where even in death, she's still stirring up monumental trouble.
It absolutely does. The introduction of this character, played by that actress, at such a vulnerable moment for the Quartermains, it's a masterstroke of storytelling, really.
Keeps you watching, that's for sure.
It ensures that Monica's passing isn't just an end, but a potent beginning for new conflicts, new revelations, particularly concerning the very foundation of the family's identity, the mansion itself. It guarantees Monica's legacy, and the drama surrounding it will continue to play out for years to come.
Wow. Okay. What an incredible deep dive this has been. We've really navigated the immediate grief surrounding Monica Quartermain's passing, explored the highly emotional, historically rich landscape of her potential funeral attendees, and uncovered these dramatic fault lines that are just set to emerge.
Yeah, it's a lot to process.
It really is. This isn't just a farewell, it's clearly a powerful moment of reflection, revelation, and definitely renewed conflict for Port Charles. It's setting the stage for storylines that are going to unfold for a long, long time.
It's clear that Monica Quartermain's legacy is going to continue to shape the show, even in her absence. Her life, her relationships, and now her death. They're potent forces driving the narrative forward, ensuring her presence is felt in every new drama, every family conflict.
So now, thinking about all this, you might be wondering, given all these potential returns and looming dramas, which character's presence at Monica's memorial are you most intrigued to see, and why?
That's a tough question. So many compelling options.
Is it a long-lost family member returning to Port Charles, like Sky or Dylan? Is it an unexpected guest creating immediate tension, like Carly or Sunny? Or maybe it's the shocking arrival of Monica's previously unseen sister, Erica Slezak's character, with her explosive claim to the Quartermain estate.
Monica Quartermain's final farewell, it really appears to be far more than just a memorial. It's a profound catalyst, isn't it? It's forcing estranged family members onto that collision course, bringing long-lost faces back into the fold, and even introducing this entirely new threat to the very foundation of the Quartermain estate.
So what's the big takeaway?
What profound truth does this deep dive into the show's rich history and unfolding drama reveal about how families truly navigate grief? How they deal with legacy and those unexpected challenges that inevitably rise to the surface in their absolute most vulnerable moments. It reminds us, I think, that even in death, a powerful matriarch like Monica can continue to shape the lives of everyone she touched, and perhaps even those she never knew, in ways that ripple through generations.